Hey, what's up? This is your boy Shon Hart. Listen, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today during this event, man. Listen, I'm a motivational speaker, and I travel the country speaking to brilliant young men and ladies just like you, right? Helping them to find a place of purpose and just shifting gears from going average to elite. And I'm so elated to have this opportunity just to spend a few minutes with you, just giving you some strategies and some plans that you can apply to your life to change the trajectory of your life, man. And I just love this theme of the Mamba mentality. And I know most of you, man, especially living in Flint, we already have the Mamba mentality. This is something that you were born in this situation. I love the scene where Batman. It was Batman and one of his foes in one of the scenes, and Batman was going to fight him. And one of the things I forgot his name, man. Please forgive me, but I remember the segment when he said, "Batman, I was born in the dark. I was born in the dark." And what he was saying is like, listen, I was born, I was created, I was molded in this darkness. And I know how to operate here. And us being people from Flint, we know how to navigate when the rest of the world is panicking and going crazy. Listen, we've been here before. We've been here before and we know how to operate it. But this is my only thing is that I don't want us and I don't want you to develop the mentality that you always have to strive. There's a life that you can go from striving to thriving. I don't want you to think that just because of what you've been experiencing that you always supposed to just be surviving and always is supposed to be just existing instead of living. You're supposed to be living and not existing. You're supposed to be thriving and not striving. And so with this Mamba mentality, we already have this boy. So I want to show you how you can take it to a whole nother level. But before I get into my message, I want you to hear a message from Kobe Bryant, the great Mamba himself.
You really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruitment?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. Like I would watch Magic play. I'd watch Michael play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things. And I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out.
That's why he's the best player in the game.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. Since 20 years. It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive, right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game and it just never changed.
Man, did you hear what he said, man? He said what motivated him is that there was a question in him is, can I get to that level? Right, so he had his eyes on the greats that was already in the NBA, and the question that was on the inside of him was, can I get to that level? And a lot of times we shut down the questions on the inside of us, And you know what? Listen, a lot of times it has nothing to do with us growing up. We were, especially when we were young, we asked a whole lot of questions. And in the beginning, it was cool because our parents, they would answer those questions, at least for some of us, right? They would answer those questions and they would help us explore and they would allow us to ask so many questions. Why? Because we were in the learning stages and they embraced and they encouraged us asking questions. And then we got to a place to where something took place where they no longer nurtured or encouraged us to ask questions, right? People are like, boy, you ask too many questions. You're always questioning. You go to school sometime like, man, you always asking questions. And what happens is that part of us being inquisitive gets shut down and we stop asking questions. But if you listen to Kobe himself, he said it was the question, can I get to that point? Like the Michael Jordans, like the Magic Johnsons, like can I get to that point? Like the Bill Russells, can I ever get to that point? And right now, you may not be saying it out loud, but we live with the question. And I want to ask you, which one is louder? Is it the question of negativity that's causing you to be fearful and afraid to take that next step, or is that question that's driving you to say, how far can I really go? Can I be greater than my mother and my father? Can I be greater than my community? Can I be greater than what people place their expectations on me? They may have placed expectations on you and said that you weren't going to be successful. And they may not have come out and said it directly, like you're not going to be successful. But it's how they interact with you where you know, like, man, they really don't believe in me. They really don't think that I'm better than what I currently possess. I get it. Listen, I was that student. I overheard, and I wasn't right next to my mom, but I overheard a teacher say to my mom, like, yo, your son doesn't have it. And I often wondered is if my father was there, would that teacher say that to my mom? Did he really believe that? Did he just see the color of my skin? Did he see my potential? No, he didn't see my potential. All he can see was what I was not, because I didn't measure up to the other kids, but he didn't know that I just wasn't interested in his class. He didn't know that I would one day travel the country speaking to professionals and people of high stature. He didn't know that I would one day be a businessman. The very person that he said that I didn't have it, he didn't foresee me going to Michigan State University for free. He didn't see me going. He at one point they'd say, okay, well, he has athletic ability. He's good with his sports, where he'll go, but he won't stay. But they didn't know that I'll graduate. They didn't know that I just learned different. They didn't know that the things that motivated me I was motivated by different things. And what they was trying to put on me was just not working. And so I live today with the question inside of me of what if, how can I, what can I do? What potential can I reach? What problem have not been solved that I can solve? So I live with question. And so where you are right now, you in the early stages of your high school career, and I need you to start right now living with question, living on purpose with question. Begin to explore, like, yo, how far can I get? How far can I go? Let that be your driving force to prevent you from quitting. Right? And sometimes it's not enough to have external motivations that I want to buy mom a house or a car. Sometimes we have to find the motivation within ourselves. Why? Because we owe it to ourselves. You owe it to you. Out of all of the billions of people in the world, there are only problems in the earth that you can solve. You can solve. People get paid to solve problems. Your teacher, what is she doing? Or what is he doing? They're getting paid to solve your problem. Where you don't know, they're helping you learn. So they get paid to solve problems. Right? So there's certain things in this world, and it's for you to begin to explore. It's for you to begin to just start living with question and like, listen, what is my potential? How far can I go? It's limitless. What you possess is limitless. There's no holds barred. Sky is not even the limit. There is no limits. You have to live life without limits, especially because your beginning sets the whole pace for the rest of your life. What you do today, and sometimes it doesn't seem, extremely important, or it doesn't seem important, but let me tell you, the decisions you make today can impact your tomorrow. And I'll tell you how it does. When I was 10 years old, playing a video game with a friend of mine, I hit the reset button because I didn't like how the trajectory of the game was going. I didn't like how it was going to end up. I saw that I was going to lose. So instead of me losing, fair and square, I hit the reset button. Instead of me just learning how to win by losing and learning, like, okay, what does it take to become a winner? And that's the part we have to learn how to become a winner. I didn't give myself an opportunity to become a winner. Why? Because I kept hitting reset. So what are you doing today that you keep on hitting reset and not giving yourself the opportunity to grow and learn how to be a winner? For most of us, we didn't grow up with a silver spoon in our mouths. So what we have to do, we have to learn how to win. We have to learn how to become champions. You're not born a champion. You have to learn how to become a champion. So what must you do to become that champion? What you have to do, you have to start sitting at the feet of champions. And right now, your educators, they are champions. They may not have championships in the NBA or in college or whatever the case, but their championships, they have their degree. They've been through so much in life as a child, as a youth, as a young man or young woman to their adulthood. They have been through the game called life and became a champion to stand where they are today, to be resilient. You just see them as an educator, but you don't know that they still a husband or a wife, and they are child, and they have children at the crib, and they may be going through all types of stuff, the same stuff that you go through, but they can't afford to come to work not happy. They can't afford to come to work not excited and not educate you. They don't have that as an option because the expectation is that they have to show up every single day. And so what is that? That's resilient in the face of adversity. They're showing you what true resilience is with a limited budget a lot of times. Come on, man. I was that student that's, in the class that talked a whole lot, that talked too much, that was a distraction. I was a distraction. Why? Because I didn't want to show that I didn't know something. So it was easy for me to get kicked out. It was easier for me to get in trouble so I can be not the class clown. I mean, yeah, I guess the class clown. It was easy for that to happen because I get more, accolades and more attention doing it that way than me being in the classroom and not getting good grades, not putting in the work. Why? Because I set a pattern of hitting the reset button. And it wasn't until like my last test of overcoming that process. I wish I could say it was 20, 30 years ago, but it wasn't. My last test was in 2018. And that was just a few years ago, right before the pandemic. That's when I passed my final test as it relates to hitting the reset button. Why? Because for years, when I didn't make it to the NFL, what some of you may be aspiring to become an NFL player or an NBA player, I was blessed to receive a scholarship at Michigan State, but I didn't go pro. And that broke me. And in that brokenness, I refused to watch the film of my collegiate games and the last game that I played. Why? Because it reminded me that I never went pro. And I robbed my children of that experience, of them seeing my film and having my stuff all over my house. I gave most of it away. Why? Because it was a painful reminder that I didn't go pro. And what I do, I hit the reset button by not watching film and not dealing with it. And in 2018, man, when I was on my way to work with a father, to provide some services to a father, the creator, my heavenly father, man, said to me, say, Shon, I need to spend some time with you. I need you to watch your film. And let me tell you, man, that was one of the most painful, one of the most difficult times of my life, of sitting down, of not even watching it, but leading up to it, because I never watched that film. And to be truthfully honest, I didn't even think the film existed, because that was filmed from 1995. YouTube wasn't even was in existence at the time. But somebody funky tail, man, videotaped it and uploaded it to YouTube, and I found it. And what I did, man, I sat in my office and I cried like a baby. And I'm talking about 2018, when I'm out here traveling and speaking to people. And a lot of times, man, we do it, but we just push past the pain and we don't deal with it. But I got tired of just pushing past the pain. I got tired of allowing life, or that one incident, to hold me back. So I made a decision that day. I was going to stay there, and I was going to not hit the reset button. I was going to watch this film. It was almost like watching a horror movie. And you know, when something about to be too gory, what you do, you turn your head, or a scene that you can't watch, or it makes you feel bad watching a movie about your history and slavery. And you know how it makes you feel? And this was a film that I wanted to turn my head, but I couldn't, because I turned my head for almost 20 years. But now I had to watch every single scene. And when I watched the scene, it was freeing after every single play. I can feel just the relief come up off of me. Why? Because I sat there and I watched. And I watched my mistakes and I watched my successes. And I was so encouraged because I finally watched my film. And some of you watching this right now, you refuse to watch your film. You at the beginning stages, you in the 8th, 9th, 10th grade year, and you listen, you like, listen, I'm not watching that. This is too difficult. I get it. I get it. I shouldn't have to go through this at this age. I get it. I'm telling you, I get it. But you do yourself a disservice by hitting the reset button and not watching your film. I ask you and I implore you to begin to watch your film at this stage and deal with whatever you need to deal with and communicate and talk. Why? Because you owe it to you. To have the Mamba mentality, you need to be free. You don't need to be clogged up. You know how it is to have your toilet or your sink clogged up? What happens? All the bacteria, all of the dirt, everything, it stays on the top. And that's the same thing what happens when you're not unclogged. When you refuse to watch your film. All that pain, what happens? It's almost like a computer screen, right? It's almost like a computer. What happens when it's almost like the internet, right? You may put it in the back of your mind and you say, yeah, I'm not going to deal with it. But what happened when you go to the computer? I don't care if you don't go to that computer for 5 years. But if you don't erase the memory, if you don't do a master reset, the moment you start typing in some letters, that word will come back up. Why? Because it remembers. And the same thing with your brain is that trauma is still there. You shouldn't have to go through what you've gone through at this point. But life happens, and it happens to us all. And so I said in the beginning, man, you're from Flint. You're resilient. The stuff that people have gone through and what people are going through and they panicking. It's like, yo, we've been through the water crisis. Now this pandemic, all types of stuff. We've been through a lot, but we are resilient. We're from Flint. We are Flintstones. There's nothing about us average. There's everything about us that's elite. We was built for this. We wasn't built to suffer, but we was built to be resilient. We were built to be thriving people, not just striving. So to have the Mamba mentality, the first thing I need you to do is watch your film. And after you watch your film, I need you to put on your shoes and your backpack to get to work. And I'm not talking about like a gerbil who's inside of his cage that's on that little wheel, doing a whole lot of activity, but that's not going anywhere and never seem to lose weight. Still that old chunky little gerbil. I need you to be strategic in your work. This world needs to be your library, like Kobe said. Like, you need to start exploring, be inquisitive, begin to go on research. Like, what problem do you want to solve? So I need you to start working hard, and not just working hard. I need you to be strategic. I need you to work smarter, not harder. The people who get paid most is the people who work smarter, not harder. And that's what happens a lot of time. We begin to work hard because that's what we think we're supposed to be doing. We think that we're supposed to work extremely hard and get up at this, and I'm grinding. And I realize that most of the people who say they grinding, they're not even getting in that. They're not working. It's not in the grind. It's not in the grind where the success is. It's in your assignment where the success lies. It's in your assignment. So I need you to work hard so you can find out what your assignment is. What were you created to do in the earth? What problem were you created to solve? There's so many people out here say, I'm chasing the bag. I'm getting that bag. Listen, don't chase the bag. The bag keeps moving. The bag goes where the problems are. Because problem solvers are there. And so my thing to you, your bag is wrapped in your assignment. Find your assignment. Your number one assignment right now is for you to be a A1 excellent student. And when I'm saying A1, I'm not saying all A's. I'm saying you need to reach your maximum level of a student. So if your best is a B, be the best B. If it's a C, be the best C, but try to find a way to have the advantage over your other competition. And to be truthfully honest, your competition is you, not the people on the outside of you, because they doing them. And that's where we get distracted, because we start watching everybody else instead of focusing on what our assignment is. I'm not looking at other motivational speakers. I'm not looking at other people that do the work that I do. I may look at them for inspiration, but the moment that I get distracted, no, I got to come back in. Why? Because I have my own assignment. You have your own assignment. So I need you to become tunnel vision. I need you to become tunnel vision in this time. Going into this summer, you need to be working on finding out what is your assignment. How do I want to end this school year? I need to finish strong. Watching your film, working hard strategically, being intentional about everything that you do. There's nothing average about you. Nothing. Not one thing. You can't find that one average thing about you. I don't care what Mr. Malta told you. Mr. Malta was my teacher. Mr. Malta was the one that told my mom I was going to amount to nothing. And if I could show you, I've written 5 books, people. You see some of them behind me. 5 books. Somebody who graduated high school with between a 1.7, 1.9 GPA. They're like, yo, this brother, but I've written 5 books, and I talked to teachers across this country. The one who struggled in school. But the Creator redeemed me. The Creator gave me my sense of purpose. He helped me understand what my assignment was. And now that's all I do. I chase my assignment. I don't chase the bag. So I need you to chase your assignment. Start strong. Finish strong. Don't be average. Only be elite. Live life with a purpose. Live life with a purpose. Don't just wake up to wake up. Live. Don't just exist. Live. Don't just exist. Live. Don't strive. Thrive. In the way that you do that, you watch your film. You become obsessive about your assignment, about your call, about your mandate. You begin to work hard on purpose, being intentional and being inquisitive by answering the call that's screaming out from within. So again, until next time, man, this is your boy Shon Hart. Don't be average. You might as well be elite. Let's get this work.